Okay, we'll start. Hafa and good morning, everyone. The Committee on Health and Tourism, Military Affairs, and Senior Citizen now convenes this public hearing. Public hearing notices were provided. The first notice on Wednesday, January 25th, 2017. Second notice on Friday, January 27, 2017. For the record, today's Wednesday, February 1st, 2017. The time now is 11:07 a.m. The committee will hear and accept testimonies on the executive appointment of Mr. William D. Nault to serve as a member of the Guam Visitors Bureau Board of Directors to fill the seat vacant by Mr. Mark Baldyga. I'd like to recognize the senators present with me this morning, my Vice Chairman, Senator Joe San Augustine, Vice Speaker Therese Terlahi, Senator Talina Nelson, and Senator Regine Bisco-Lee. Thank you very much, Senators, for being here with me this morning. Also like to recognize my good friend and colleague, Senator Tony Ada. Thank you very much, Senator, for being here this morning. So if you would like to testify in favor or against Mr. Nault, I'm sure you're all here for Mr. Nault, you may please sign up on this table to my left here, and then we'll call you to come up and provide your testimony if you wish to do so orally. If you also just have a written testimony, you're invited to provide that to the committee, and we'll ensure that it's part of the committee record when we report this confirmation out. So the first set I'd like to call is Mr. Carl Pangolin. Please come forward. We have Senator Ada who signed in. If you'd just like to, okay, thank you. Mr. Monty Mesa. Mr. Josh Taikenko, is that just would you like to provide an oral statement or just a... Okay, thank you. Mr. Terry DeBold. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Whoever wants to start, Mr. Mesa, would you like to start first? Sure. Thank you.
Half a day and good morning, Mr. Chairman. And senators in the committee. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to testify in this hearing this morning. My name is Monty Mesa, and I'm here on behalf to support Mr. Bill Nault to become a board member at GVB. And for three basic reasons. One, I've had the honor and pleasure of working with Bill Nault during my time at Micronesia Mall for about 14 years, as well as with my time at Guam Premier Outlets, GPO, for the last 19 years. So in that working relationship, I've seen Bill continue to help promote Guam in Japan, and I believe that with his skill sets and with his ability to work well with our Japanese agents as well as the Japanese community itself, especially in his new role with this internet booking services with the Rakuten Group. I think we would be looking at a new avenue of marketing and growth, especially to rebuild back our core market, which is Japanese. Secondly, again, with I see Bill's talents in the internet IT respect, and looking at helping us at GVB to strengthen our research, but also how we can better manage our internet interactions with all markets. But in this particular case, we'd like to harness his talents to broaden our approach in Japan through the internet program, and use our social media platform in a different way that we've been doing for the last 5 years. I see that we've lost a little market share in that, and also we were a little behind the bell curve, so to speak. So I see that bringing Bill in to the board will give this a better perspective and a better outlook because he's connected to a large organization in Japan that deals with online marketing. And lastly, knowing Bill as a personal friend and also seeing his family grow up here in Guam, he has invested a lifetime of work in the tourism industry. He calls Guam his home. He's a true Guamanian, and I see that he has the vested interest in his heart as well as his mind to help Guam continue to grow. And most especially, like I said, with his background as being half Japanese, he has an affinity, of course, with continuing our effort to keep our core market as Japan to continue to be a successful market for us. So with those three things, I believe that Bill will serve the board well and the GVB organization. But I think most especially is he is really wanting to give back to this community and serve it. Lastly, this is not going to be Bill's first opportunity to serve our government. He's also been a board member, an active board member at the time with the EPA, and he takes a lot of pride in the last appointment that he had under this administration to help our EPA board in charting the right way to, again, balance the development of Guam and also managing our resources properly. So I see he will bring that perspective as we continue to look at developing more attractions to Guam and balance the resources that we have here, because and I think that would also serve the board in his capacity as experience coming from the EPA board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Richard DeBold.
It's on, right? There, let's do it. Good day, Mr. Chairman, Senators. Thank you for allowing me to provide my testimony. I am in support of the appointment for Mr. Nault. As Mr. Mesa has pretty much already explained, of course, Bill, as I know him, has a very in-depth knowledge of the local tourism industry. My background goes back as far as 27 years ago while I was in the airlines. We worked very closely together. This is when the Japanese market was booming, but we worked very closely in developing special tour packages that certainly helped RNC become one of the leading tour operators on Guam. After that, I'd spent time with him at RNC Tours as a coworker. We worked together there as well. At this point, today, I'm representing myself, but I work with Punta Dos Amantes in public relations and sales, and I work again with Bill on the Japan Marketing Committee. We spent the last couple years at GVB helping to, we've been working really hard to try to bring the numbers of Japanese tourists back up and trying to create more unique methods. And I think, as Mr. Mesa mentioned, especially being with Rakuten, which in Japan is known as, it's basically the Yahoo of Japan. They are an internet company, but they have a big travel organization, and they promote online type of purchases. A lot of people don't realize is that Rakuten, just because we're so familiar with the JTBs and the HISs, that Rakuten is among the top 3 tour operators in Japan in terms of number of tourists. And I think that his influence in the company and his knowledge of the trends that are the different trends now are certainly going to help influence growth in our Japanese market. I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Bill is a local boy. He graduated from JFK. He grew up here on Guam, played football, though he was on the smaller side. His kids were also raised here, grew up here, went on to college. So his heart, his mind, he's truly vested into this island. I just don't see any reason why Bill shouldn't be nominated, shouldn't be confirmed. I think he would be a huge asset to the Visitors Authority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Pangolin.
Thank you. Buenas, good morning, Mr. Chair, and rest of the members of the committee. My name is Carl Pangolin, and again, like these 2 fine gentlemen before me, I'm here to provide support for the confirmation of Mr. Bill Nault. Bill's resume really speaks for itself. He's amassed a quality and a very diverse career portfolio with 30 plus years in the game. There's no doubt that he'll bring a lot to the table as a GVB board of director. And again, I urge your support of his confirmation moving forward. My personal experience with Bill dates back to the year 2000, while I was at ITNE at the time, and just starting my my telecom career. He at the time was at RNC Tours, and although he just he emailed me his resume yesterday. It doesn't state it on his actual resume, but Bill was very highly involved and instrumental in creating what was then a very thriving wireless rental business. Remember, this was the year 2000. This was long before roaming was, a universal platform. This was long before you could get SIM cards at a local market. So when our visitors arrived on island, it was very convenient for them just to turn to their tour operator and have these types of tools. And Bill was very, very instrumental at the RNC side in seeing that through. So when I found out that he did move to Rakuten ultimately after his stint at RNC, it kind of made sense just with his foresight in terms of using technology for tourism. Over the years, Bill and I have stayed in touch, and in my 2 years as the GVB GM, we actually reconnected in an official capacity, and I had several very fruitful discussions with him, one of which really stands out, and I'm actually pleased to see one of the ideas that he did bring to the table for us to take a look at come to fruition, and that's the Tumon Night Market. It's one of GVB's 8 core objectives to push tourism out of Tumon, and I've always been very loud about that. I'm glad to see that the Bureau is still actively pushing that objective. But just in a micro sense, if you just take a look at Tumon itself, which is the heart and soul of our tourism district, diversification within Tumon is also needed. You see a lot of the action taking place currently right now on the Pleasure Island side of the bay. And it was really Bill's foresight to let's transfer some of that energy. Let's see what we can do about providing an attraction, providing some things for our visitors to do. And then the Tumon Night Market was born, and so that's kind of diversification within our own tourism district, and I'm very, very glad to see that happen. The last point that I want to make, and thank you, Monty, for also bringing that up. I want us to all keep in mind the good work that Bill has done the past 6 years at the Guam EPA, serving as a board member there. While we're doing a fantastic job, and I want to commend GVB for all of their hard work and great work breaking records and continuing all of this progress in terms of raw arrivals. I can't stress enough the importance for us to keep in mind tourism sustainability. I've personally seen it before happen to other destinations, and in marketing, which is in my background, there's that basic tenet. Sometimes it's worse to oversell something than it is to undersell it. And so with Bill's experience and the good work that he's put in at the EPA, I know it's very important that a lot of the decisions that we make, a lot of the programs that they attach themselves to in terms of support, really need to bear in mind not just today, but years down the line. I've got small kids, and I like for them to also enjoy this industry that that is keeping Guam moving. And so I know Bill brings a lot of that to the table, and I'm sure a lot of the decision making will bear in mind what the impact is going to be, most especially to our environment down the line. So with that, I'd just like to close. I'd like to thank the governor, actually, for a very smart appointment. I also want to commend the legislature for your 3 appointments to the Guam Visitors Bureau board. There's a lot of work to be done, and I hope we can move swiftly on this confirmation. And with that, again, I want to state my support for Mr. Nault as a GVB Board of Director. Susmasi.
Thank you very much, Carl, and to all 3 of you, thank you for your leadership in what you guys do to contribute to our tourism industry and to our island in general. I really appreciate it. Senator Fernando Esteves, thank you very much for joining us. Is there any questions from senators here for this group? If not, thank you very much. If there's anyone else that wishes to testify, I'll call you up now. If not, then I'll call the nominee, Mr. Bill Nault, to please come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your appointment. If you have a prepared statement, you can go ahead and read that.
Thank you, Chairman. Half a day, Honorable Chairman, Senator Dennis Rodriguez, and other distinguished committee members, senators. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. It is with great honor that I have this opportunity to speak on my behalf to be on the board of directors for the Guam Visitors Bureau. My name is William Dennis Nault. I was born on December 18, 1967 in Okinawa, Japan, where I lived until my relocation to Guam in the summer of 1974. I have been a resident since then. It was due to my father, who was a retired Marine, who had moved to Guam to work for civil services at the former Naval Air Station base, which was next to the Guam International Airport. Of course, off the course of my childhood, I had attended LBJ Elementary, Tumuning Elementary, both in the village of Tumuning, and attended Dedo Junior High, and I'm also proud to say that I am a graduate of John F. Kennedy High School. Like many of my friends, I have participated in playing local sports such as baseball and football. My most enjoyed years is when I had spent playing Little League for a team in Tumuning and Tumon, and had the opportunities to represent our island twice, in 1980 for a Little League All-Stars and in 1984 for the Guam Big League All-Stars. I also enjoy playing football for one of our island's favorite team, the Guam Eagles, as well as playing varsity football for John F. Kennedy High School in the school year 1983-84, in which our team won the championship with a record of 10-0. Be it for good or not, I am, as anyone who was born and raised on our beautiful island, the making of our island. Besides sports, I enjoyed computer programming, system integration, as well as web designing, web creation, which I had the chance to study during and after high school. I have been married now for 24 years and have one son who just graduated last May in Boston, Massachusetts, and he continues to live and work in Boston. He too graduated from one of our island's high schools. He had his share of playing sports for youth teams. His high school team as well was blessed to have been part of the Guam national soccer team, the Matao. I do wish that someday he too will return to Guam so that he too may use his experiences to assist in any way which may be of help to our island, our economy, and the people of Guam. My first tourism experience was when I turned 16. I had started my first job at a local duty-free shop called Carl Rose. When I worked as a customer service staff and a delivery staff of merchandise purchased by customers. This was my start in tourism. During weekends, I worked at a rent-a-car agency until a year later I had moved on to a new job at the Western Frontier Village, a gun shooting range and a gift shop catering to visitors from off-island. When I turned 18, I made another move to a different gun range to work as a range master, instructing tourists in how to safely and properly handle and shoot a real live gun, which was and still is a popular activity for many tourists that come to Guam. Soon later, I had moved to Pacific Daily News to work as a district sales manager, but later found that tourism was much suited for me, and I had left PDN to join a duty-free retail company called Top Enterprises as a supervisor for their Hilton duty-free shop. And soon after, started to work on a second job during my spare time at a tour agency called RNC Tours as part-time employee. until my resignation from the duty-free shop and started to work at RNC as a full-time employee in 1987. With RNC Tours, I had the opportunity to see company grow to become one of the largest local tour companies on Guam. Over the years, I worked as their operation and schedule staff and quickly moved up to become a supervisor, then assistant manager, senior manager, then assistant general manager until the later months of 2003. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, I had the pleasure of creating the first local area network system on Guam for a tour agency, which extended the point-of-sale capabilities to all of the hotel offices that the company had, as well as the implementation of accounting system. We also created our office network in Guam to our headquarters in Japan. We're the first agency to place PCs on each employee's desk. RNC Tours became a company which truly got their employees involved and worked hard to win the satisfaction of the many tourists it brought in from Japan. Until my transfer to Honolulu, Hawaii in 2003 as the company's executive managing director and general manager. It gave me more opportunities to learn how other destinations work to strive for more visitors and improving their destinations. It also given me the time to create new systems for other international offices, which connected all international offices using the wide area network and helped me to explore ways to use the internet to further expand opportunities available by using the strength of the internet. I moved back to Guam and joined the Baldyga group as their vice president in media until leaving to join the Rakuten Travel, my current job, which I helped open its office here on Guam and started to work as their general manager. I currently am also the secretary and director of the corporation. Rakuten Travel is part of Rakuten Inc., which is a Japanese internet service company which have expanded globally and around the world. When I talked about Rakuten, most people have not heard about our company. To explain briefly about Rakuten, Rakuten headquarters is in Japan and is a membership company, meaning every person that uses our services is a member of Rakuten. Rakuten is considered as the largest internet service company in Japan. Rakuten has over 116 million members in Japan and over 900 million users around the world as of late 2016. Rakuten operates many internet services companies within its ecosystem, such as online retail, online banking, online stock brokerage, fintech, wedding, credit card, travel, and many other services. In the U.S. and other countries, Rakuten owns companies such as Viber, Ebates, Linkshare, Viki, Kobo, Price Minister, FitsMe, Walkie TV, and invested heavily in business such as Lyft, which is a direct competition with share ride app called Uber. Some services we own, such as Overdrive, which is an online library book lease and rental company, leasing ebooks to libraries throughout the nation. Someday, we may have opportunities to provide such services to our public and school libraries. Rakuten has offices in Japan, Taiwan, Korea, China, Singapore, Hong Kong, and other Asian countries, as well as in Europe, such as France, Germany, Spain, and the United Kingdom. In the Americas, our offices expand from Brazil to Canada and throughout the United States, with offices in New York, Boston, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and the U.S. headquarters being in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley. Rakuten Travel is a travel division of Rakuten Inc., and it operates in many cities in Japan as well as 20 international offices worldwide. Besides all of the services it provides, Rakuten is also known for the first Englishnization project, which made English the main language for our entire corporation in Japan and around the world. Rakuten also owns and runs 2 professional sports teams in Japan, a baseball team called the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, with a home field in Sendai, Japan, and a J1 soccer team called the Vissel Kobe, based in Kobe, Japan. For the past 10 years, I have spent my years with Rakuten Travel Guam Inc., which was incorporated in 2007. I was the only employee when we started our office and grew our numbers to 3 employees, then to 5, and now we are a company of 9 employees, which handles approximately 50,000 travelers to Guam annually through our services. We are the first company to successfully provide extranet portals to the hotels, as well as the first company to allow the hotels to successfully sell their rooms online and grow their business within the Japanese market. Currently, the company sells not just room only, but also package tours, which includes rooms, airlines, and transportation, as well as just airline tickets. On Guam, we provide assistance to our travelers by providing service lounge 7 days a week. We provide offline and online tour activities, restaurant, and other tour-related consultations and reservation booking services. Our dealings with many tour-related companies help me to understand the weaknesses and strengths of the industry. I directly talk to many of our partners, such as retail businesses, optional tours operators, transportation companies, rent-a-car companies, hotels, restaurants, and other businesses directly and indirectly related to tourism. For the past 6 years, I also had the privilege in serving on the board of directors for the Guam Environmental Protection Agency. It had been a great pleasure and an honor to have done so. The hardworking employees of EPA have made my interest in protecting our environment a very important part of my life. I hope to continue the watch of protecting the environment even after my move to GVB, not as a board member, but as a concerned citizen. I truly enjoy spending my time to help out within the community in where it is possible. I currently am honored with the opportunity to be serving on the Municipal Planning Council for Tumaning, Tumon, and Harmon, for which I have served the past 2 years and plan to continue to serve until possible. Lastly, during my spare time, I play baseball and soccer for a local team, which I truly enjoy spending time and having the opportunity to talk to other members of the team who works at different industries and different workplaces. It provides different insights in how others outside tourism see and feels about our number one industry, tourism. As our biggest inbound destination, Japan had decreased over the years. I am hoping to use my experience and knowledge in increasing this market. I will have the opportunity to work with the hardworking and dedicated employees of GVB to help other markets and committees. I have been active for the past year or so within the Japan Market Committee, in which I hope to continue, as well as Russia, and explore other new destinations that we can add to our diversifying visitors. To really become a truly global destination, we will need to invite many other visitors from other countries that we currently do not have. I will also have the opportunity to work with our sports and events tourism team, which I am hoping to assist in any and all ways possible to boost segments to grow our sports locally, and also visiting sports teams and matches to create more events for not just our visitors, but for both visitors and locals to enjoy. While I am aware of the other issues such as the TAA fund and the GVB budget, I am hoping with you allowing me to be on the board, I may, as the motto of my company, Rakuten, is to empower the agency with my resources so that we may grow our intake in the TAA fund through higher average rates and increase room nights so that we may increase the funds to market our island entirely. As other destinations such as Hawaii, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and many other destinations have bigger budget than Guam in marketing themselves, we will make our money count where it should and work with all businesses and entities that may help us to be second to none. Japan, Korea, Philippines, Taiwan, Russia, China, neighboring islands, and all other destinations and are all important destinations that need to be focused on, and we will need to work with all the airlines that serve our island. We will adapt when needed and be flexible when required so that we may reach our goals, which has already been set for the year 2020. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the distinguished senators, members, for allowing me to speak today. I can only say to you now that I will do my best to fulfill my role if you will allow me to be part of this great organization and industry that I care for. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Bill, for that very comprehensive testimony. I'm going to ask, there's two other individuals that wish to testify, so I'm going to ask them to come forward first before we open the questionings for you. Mr. Bob Perron and Ms. Pilar Laguanya, please, if you can come forward.
Thank you. Half a day. Congratulations. I think this is the first time I've been able to present in front of this esteemed body. Honorable Senator Dennis Rodriguez and your committee members, congratulations on your elections and your appointments. We look forward to working with each and every one of you at the Guam Visitors Bureau. I am here this morning on behalf of my president and CEO, Mr. Nathan DeKnight, who is unable to attend this morning due to a family funeral. So if you would please pardon him and allow me to present his written testimony, I'd be very grateful. Hafaday, Chairman Rodriguez, and members of the Committee on Health, Tourism, and Military Affairs, and senior citizens. Siju'us Masi for allowing me to submit testimony in support of the appointment of William Nault of the Guam Visitors Bureau Board of Directors. Having served as Secretary, Director, and General Manager of Rakuten Travel Guam, Inc., Mr. Nault has accumulated 30 years' worth of knowledge and experience in the tourism industry. Through the various positions he has held over the years, he has the insight and the skill set needed to help Guam Visitors Bureau's efforts to promote our island to the world. His expertise in business of tour operations as well as consulting to hotels, restaurants, and business owners will no doubt be beneficial to the GVB Board of Directors. Mr. Nault will serve as the incoming Vice Chairman for GVB's Russia and New Markets Committee and Sports and Events Committee. His guidance will play a key part in setting the direction for major opportunities and events that make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Thank you again for this opportunity to support Mr. Nault's appointment to the GVB Board of Directors. Viva GVB and Viva Guam. Sinceramente, signed by John Nathan DeKnight, President and CEO of the Guam Visitors Bureau. And we would like to present copies of this testimony to all senators of the 34th Guam Legislature.
Sijus Masi, thank you very much. At Viva GVB, take this opportunity to thank you and everyone from GVB for the great work that you guys do. The record numbers for 2016, and with the energy that I've seen so far with the employees there, the board members, and now hopefully with Mr. Nault, we see good things coming for Guam and for our tourism industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Mr. Perron.
Okay, good morning, Chairman Rodriguez and senators of the committee. My name is Bob Perrin, and I'm here in support of the nomination of Mr. Bill Nault to the Guam Visitors Bureau Board of Directors. I've known Bill for 20 plus years. We were neighbors in Tumon Holiday Manor. We had a common wall between us, and I've seen him, with his family and his son Yota growing up since he was 5 or 6 years old, and develop into a real good, outstanding person and individual. And his lovely wife, Shisei, we've known them very well, and really can speak to the character and the moral fiber of Mr. Nault, and seeing him with his family and being in such close proximity to them for years. Going from there, I've also been on the board of directors of Guam EPA with Bill for the past 6 years or so, yeah. And Bill was a very important member of the board, always active, always doing homework, bringing a lot of issues to the board, engaging in good dialogue back and forth, and not always agreeing with everybody, just bringing up his point of view and his experience in life and in his work, bringing that to our board. And in that way, he was very instrumental in the success of the agency and of the board. So we really hate to see Bill go, because he was such an important part of our board, but we know there's a lot of good things he can do at GVB as well. And I know his knowledge of the tourism industry is really matched by very few people on Guam. So I think we're very lucky that somebody of his caliber is willing to serve for free, to help the island and help all its people. So I'm, really proud of him that he's stepping up to take on this challenge. And again, GVB couldn't be getting a better board member, and I couldn't recommend him higher than I do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, sir. Are there any questions for Pilar or Bob, committee senators? If not, thank you very much. We can excuse you. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the floor for any of the senators who wish to ask any questions. Mr. Vice Chairman, did you have any questions? Okay.
Well, I'd just like to comment to Mr. Nault. Thank you for accepting the nomination and coming before us.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to hopefully it'll confirmation will be approved by the body. I look forward to exciting times at GVB and for the people of Guam.
I am very honored. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Vice Speaker, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a comment. Thank you, Mr. Nault, and I very much appreciated your testimony and the testimony of everyone else in support of your nomination. And thank you also for accepting the nomination. I'm glad that you included in your testimony your discussion about the environmental protection and also that others talked about that. I think that is important if we are going to have a sustainable tourism economy here. And I also appreciate your pointing out your goals of increasing rates and making the tour stay longer as one of the strategies. And so I think that also adds to sustainability. And I just want to say, and I appreciate very much your involvement in the community. I think it makes us very proud to have you on the GVB board when you're very active in our community and obviously helpful to the community and the community. And so I think that's really going to be very helpful. And I appreciate Mr. Perrin when he testified that you at the EPA didn't always go along with everybody, but you were able to put in your own unique perception, and I hope you will continue to do the same, and I very much appreciate your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. As I said, I'm very honored, and I feel that tourism is a very important part of our community, and our environment is very important in part of tourism. I will strive to do my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. My Vice Chairman on Health, Senator Esteves, anything?
Mr. Nault, I'd like to as well thank you for accepting the nomination. I mean, looking at the testimonies put forth by colleagues you've had in the past, it's quite impressive, and it shows a wider range of activities that you've done, and I know you can directly apply that experience to whatever you do, and we appreciate that. I'd also like to thank you for your work in the past, having been a true son of Guam, and having been a great ambassador for the people here and what we bring to the table and inviting that. So I look forward to your continued contribution to that in this regards, in this new endeavor. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator. As I said, I will do my best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Senator Nelson, I'm sorry.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for accepting this nomination. I want to say that I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can bring to the table in the technological advances that we are having. It's very impressive that you are the general manager of Rakuten, which is a very large corporation. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of platforms you can push to promote Guam on a globalized scale. Also twofold, I'm very pleased to hear that Mr. Perron was a strong, a supporter and advocate, and advocated for you as far as the Environmental Protection Agency, because essentially we have one island, and I really applaud the efforts that you've done to sustain our environment here, and I look forward to seeing new implementations to really preserve the natural resources that we have on our island. So thank you very much, and it is also nice to hear that you were, raised here on Guam, and for really focusing on how you can contribute back to our island. So it is an honor for us. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Lee?
Hafaday, Mr. Nault, I want to just join my colleagues in thanking you so much for accepting the appointment by Governor Calvo. I have 3 quick questions for you, and I hope that, and I would thank you everybody for giving me the opportunity to ask them. Thank you, Chairman. So given the changing demographics and emerging markets, how do you think GVB can strengthen our online marketing, increase our social media interactions, and really leverage? I know we put a lot behind the OOG campaign in recent months. So I think with the goal of ultimately increasing our quality and our yield, and not just the volume of our visitors, but I want to see how we can leverage some of those things to increase quality and yield. And I wanted to just hear some of your perspectives about that.
Yes. Thank you, Senator.
Mm-hmm.
With the current GVB, I think they are doing a great job, and that every year I think we can do bigger and better things. With some of the things that I have learned with my current company, that one thing that I feel pretty strongly about is using all the data, all the information that we have in tackling some of the questions that you have asked. In other countries, they call them big data.
Mm-hmm.
We want to use the big data that we have so that we can approach other destinations, as I have mentioned in my speech, that we would like to invite other destinations that we currently don't have. There are other places that may be possible that may take our offer. There are other airlines that we may be able to ask to come. We will have to work closely with our partners, such as the airport and other government agencies. Infrastructures would need to be improved in order to gain the goals of 2020
Right.
or more. I feel that we all have to work together and use other medias, such as online medias, internet. The late fads are smartphones. Use more smartphone technologies. Get people more involved. Get more information out. Get the airlines involved. Get more airlines to come to Guam. Encourage more business owners to build more hotels, more activities, more shopping.
Okay.
We want to be the destination of our area.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank you so much for your service on the EPA board. So a quick question about that. Can you please speak to specific environmental protections that require immediate action for maybe GVB or partner agencies to really increase and improve destination management?
Yes, for the environment protection agencies, we do have great staffs at EPA that does great jobs. With the board of EPA, as was the member of the EPA board, I honestly try to see things from not as a different perspective of views, but basically from how anybody will look at such situations. We had situations where or we continue to have situations such as illegal dumpings and so forth, and that I feel strongly that we need to combat that issue.
Yes.
I also feel that we need to fix our lightings. I also feel that we need to fix our roads. I feel that we need to fix all these so that it will be safe for our drivers, for our pedestrians, our local people, and also for our families. I am a very strong advocate for the anti-illegal dumpings and also for recycling. Basically, I will hope to see more and more recycle being done. I am also hoping that we can put more trash cans and label them as plastics and cans, aluminum cans, and so forth. But I am also for not just, of course, EPA, but other government agencies such as GVB, also to help in supporting recycling and illegal dumping.
Great, thank you. And one last quick question. Ms. Laguatnia referred to the sports and events and that you might be chairing this committee?
I will be vice chairing.
Or
yes.
vice chairing the committee. So I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite GVB signature event?
My favorite signature events, I would say that I have a lot of signature events. Just last year in the summer, GVB has started its Summer Beach Fest over at Ipao Beach, and I was practically there almost every night during the summer looking at this, and I really, really enjoyed it. I have put in my 2 cents to GVB, and that some of the things that needs improving. Nothing is perfect, but we need to take one event at a time and try to improve each event each year, so that the signature events will really be called the signature events. There are marathons that GVB sponsors and do, and other sponsors. There are golf tournaments that I myself will be involved. Basically, things like the Governor's Cup, which happens in December, was sponsored by United Airlines, and then this year I have heard that United had approached our corporation in Japan, and that Rakuten Gora, which is a golf reservation company, will be co-sponsoring with United in trying to make this event a successful event in December. So not just that, but also with other local events. We do have the block party, barbecue block parties, and so forth that I have attended myself, and I really enjoy it. And I actually, when I look at these events, and I'm standing in the middle of these events, I just have so many thoughts that goes in my mind, and seeing how we can actually even expand it in a much bigger scales, and how we can invite more entertainers or do cross events that will even make the event much bigger. So I plan to use those ideas and throw it at the committee to see if everyone will be in agreement, and hope that we can even have much better events in the future.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for saying yes. We look forward to a positive confirmation process. I also just want to thank the GVB staff who's in the audience, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the time.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you very much, Senator Lee. Bill, so just a few things. I know it was talked about earlier about how you were a proponent of revitalizing or taking some activities to the southern side of Tumon and not just the Pleasure Island. I want to ask you to continue to advocate for that as a board member once you're confirmed, and you have my full support in ensuring that as we look now towards some capital improvement projects that I know GVB, my office, and Gita are all looking at putting together, that you continue to advocate for that. One thing is we're doing a lot more activities at Ipao Beach, Governor Joseph Flores Park. That's really a diamond that we have that we just need to polish and shine. And so I'm hoping that in this go-around with the capital improvement initiatives that we're looking at doing, that you can also advocate for that as a board member, because I think there's a lot of potential if we really look into doing some good stuff there at Ipao Beach for our tourists, but also for our local community. So I look forward to that.
I will do my best, Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just one thing. I know that, and it is early discussions, but one of the things that have been talked about is the occupancy, the hotel occupancy rate. I know that one of the things you would like to do, as you said in your testimony, is to move towards further increasing the room rates that we have here. One of the something that we should look at is revisiting the 11% hotel occupancy. In the past, I believe, Monty, was for 15 or 13? 14%. And so that's going to have some impact, both positively. It's good because we can give Ms. Laguardia more money to market Guam, and bring more tourists here. But also we want to make sure that what impact is this going to have on the visitors and the hotel. So if you're not prepared to answer that yet now, then that's fine. But if you are, I'd like to to hear your point of view on that.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In regards to raising the occupancy tax and also raising the average daily rates for the hotels, which helps to fund the tourist attraction fund, I feel that raising the average daily rate is an important key, not just to fund the tourist attraction fund, but basically to allow the hotels to make more profit, in which they can also throw back into their hotels and into their infrastructures and services. Increasing average daily rates does not necessarily have to be increasing rates. Hotels, as an example, a hotel with 500, 600 rooms does not necessarily have just one room category. They have many categories. They have regular standard rooms. They have ocean view, deluxe ocean view. They have suites. They have club lounge, club floors, and so forth, which all have different rates. I feel that not just pushing for the lower room rates, basically is the key in bringing tourists, but basically offering better value for the tourist money. When you offer a tourist a better value over cheap rates on a room or the cheapest room, I do feel that there are many travelers that will take the better value for higher rates. And then by doing so, they get a better room, they get better services, they get put in higher floors, they have better benefits from the hotels, bigger rooms, better views that our hotels offer. And I have seen it within the past 10 years from the travelers that uses my company's services, that we actually have problems trying to sell the cheaper rooms, the standard rooms. Rather, most of our travelers actually buy the higher ends. I think that you can't just offer them one, two things, but if you offer them various things with different values, that it will give them a chance to choose. I feel that the market is not how we used to call it, the travel agent driven. I feel that is now more market driven, consumer driven. So if you give the consumers the choice to choose on their own, I feel that they will choose what is best for them and what they can actually afford, which is not always the cheap, the rooms or the standard rooms that is available on the bottom. So yes, I am for raising average daily rates, which will help the tourist attraction funds. If we do need to raise the occupancy, then we should. If we do not have to raise it, then we will not need to. But I am very in favor of Guam as a destination having much bigger marketing funds. And not just because I just feel that GVB needs the bigger funds or bigger budget, is because I feel that in order to become a global destination, we need to be playing in the same ball field as the other destinations.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. And just to be clear, this discussion of going back to the 15 or the 14% is something that when you look back at why we went down to 11% at that time years ago, it was the global economic situation was in peril. Our visitor arrivals were down, and I think we've surpassed that now. So I think it's just an opportune time to be able to have those discussions. But of course, we have to be very responsible and cautious on how we move forward in that direction.
questions.
Okay, great. So I don't have any other questions. I want to congratulate you again and thank you for stepping up and taking this call. I want to thank everyone here who came and testified and provided testimony for Mr. Nault. The committee will work to get your committee report ready. The public is invited to continue to send in written testimonies if they wish to have it delivered here at the Guam Legislature or at my office. Other than that, we'll work to ensure that it's on the agenda for the first session of this term. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. So the time now is 12:01, and this confirmation hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.